Join us for a review of the Lexus UX. Let's go. Now to the front, I think a very distinctive design. So it's probably love or hate, yes. So tell me in the comments, what about you, love or hate this front? But so dramatic design, like, you know, carved from a samurai sword. And here the Lexus logo resembles also in the daytime running light. That's, I think, a beautiful feature, definitely. And the headlamp unit, the main one, comes standard with LED and optional with matrix LED. 4 meters 49, 177 inches or 14'7" is the length of the Lexus UX. And comparing to the NX, that's 14 centimeters or 5.5 inches less. So that's the difference then to the bigger brother. Well, we talked about the front being very dramatic, but the same goes for the rear. First of all, beautiful design. I mean that this light strip goes all over the car here. And then this is a very three-dimensional design. Of course, yeah, we always see it from the outside that you will lose some trunk space on the inside. For example, here, those tail lamps are shaped in a so three-dimensional way. You could even have breakfast on this area here. Yeah, very, very interesting. And then a big contrasting shape in the lower end. Really glad they did not go for fake exhaust tips. No hydraulic struts. I think for that price we could have expected that here. Nevertheless, talk about the engines. This one UX 200, a 2-liter naturally aspirated petrol engine, 170 horsepower. And based on that one, there's also the hybrid, the 250H. That one then with about 180 horsepower. And with an electric motor as an additional one, and you can get that one also as front-wheel drive only, like this one here, or then also in another version as all-wheel drive. Very interesting material right here on top of the dashboard. It's soft and has a special structure, so really cool, very well done, again with contrast stitches. Getting inside proves my point that this one here is not an SUV but a crossover. You sit a little bit higher than in a normal compact hatch, but it rather feels like a compact hatch than an SUV. But similar to, for example, to a Mercedes GLA, which is also not really an SUV to me. Interior overview. Very unique design here too. Again, great material here on the top of the dashboard. It looks good, it feels great, so special. I really like that. And again, the element I showed you earlier right here that resembles the front grille. Then you get a 7-inch screen as standard, and optional this one 10.3-inch with a widescreen format and still with an analog clock. Then great quality of materials, like all the buttons you click, the sounds they make, the haptic feedback you get from everything. This is very well done. The lower area, you have an area for the seat cooling, also for seat heating, heated steering wheel, so all those, even in 2 levels, so all those options are available. Steering wheel again here, you see this compact setup, right side for the cruise control, left side, for example, to control those instruments. Yeah, and those instruments, they're all digital. You can see it right here when I turn off the ignition and the seat pulls me back again. So pretty interesting. And they look analog in the middle part, but they are actually not. And in the left side, for example, you can then see the fuel consumption. A nice option is this head-up display, clear to see and to read with the allowed speed, the current speed, and also some GPS information. Then close up here at the infotainment screen. The visualization already looks a little bit old school, but the big problem is really how you control everything. I mean, you know, with this touchpad, which gives you a haptic feedback, Yeah, and then you scroll through those. Once here is not a touchscreen. And here again how it works. So you use your finger, you get somewhat of a haptical feedback from this touchpad. And in the lower part you have an inductive charging platform for your smartphone. Then next to it is very interesting, this 12-volt power supply socket. When you open it, it lifts so smoothly, and then it clicks also when you close it again. And now to the rear, where this door here doesn't open too wide. Hard pack materials, by the way, at the rear door from the inside. And I'm just so glad that this car here has a bright ceiling on the inside. Otherwise, this one here would be a total black hole. And you can see, as I would be driving, and yeah, the seat is in the forward position at the moment, so from this automatic comfort feature. So I'm totally hitting my knees right there. I can barely sit here as a tall adult, knee room wise. Headroom wise, actually no problem, that's totally fine. So what about the trunk? Electric hatch here, and yeah, it takes quite some time to open it. And you can see it's very limited in height here, because the hybrid versions would have the battery right here, and here in this case, well, you can store some more stuff underneath, so that's possible then. But then the upper, well, there's no reloading sill, that's cool. Let me show you some acceleration, 60 kilometers to 100. Let's go. Oh, that was it. So you see, that was pretty decent. But again, I think the main characteristic is everything feels so refined, you know? Silent, and you know, when you have the smooth transitions from accelerating and stuff, everything feels very, very refined. And that's in general what I like about the Lexus vehicles. And so in this respect, there's then no difference to the German premium manufacturers as for the refinement you feel. In some parts they are maybe even more refined. Of course, they are not set on the performance, on the level, especially with the hybrid models, as the German manufacturers do. But then again, especially with the hybrid models, you can score really decent fuel consumption figures. That's pretty cool, definitely. So now indeed we are also fuel consumption wise right in the middle of what I said from the minimum maximum level. It's like between 6 and 10 liters. Now we are exactly at 8 liters, and that's including also a bigger acceleration. So yeah, again, it should be lower, but this whole ride, how it's set out to be, also feels more like it should be a hybrid, with the transmission, the engine power, the same engine of course is being used, but just plus the electric motor and the soft steering setup and so on. So a very relaxed ride with this one here. That's what I think I like most with this vehicle. So what do you think? And of course, pricing, yeah, it's very, very expensive. You have to think about if you want, this rather small car for such a price. But then again, the competitors from Mercedes, BMW and Audi and Volvo, they are not, much better in that respect. So thank you so much for tuning in today, and also tune into some other reviews of those compact crossovers from the competitors. See you there.